Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back in another video. Today I want to talk about what is the best IEM you get for budgets, I guess around $70 or less. So we have 7 of them on the table, and I'll tell you which one I like the most and which ones you might like. There's different ones for different folks, I guess, or different strokes for different folks. But essentially we have some interesting ones. So right here we have one that's called the Rock Lobster. So if you're curious of what a lobster sounds like, we'll figure that out. But honestly, it's a very funky, funny design. I think it's really interesting and it kind of stands out. And we have some other ones like the 7 Hertz one right here. This one is really, really good value right here. It has a really good driver. We have a titanium one. We have this really nice looking EPZ one. We have this gold or diamond looking one that's very fashionable, I guess. We have the Critical 02. This is a very popular one by a popular YouTuber and collaboration. And then the K-Bear one has actually a bone conduction driver in it. So you definitely get to hear what different things sound like. It also has a beryllium driver. This has a titanium driver. So these are definitely some interesting IEMs, and we can definitely figure out which one of these sounds good and which one does not. So the first one I want to talk about is this Rock Lobster. I guess it's made by the community, by a post and a community. It's honestly a hilariously looking type of IEM. It's tuned for metal, rock, indie, punk, aka that means it has a lot of bass. The treble isn't really that much emphasized in the sense of like, it's definitely not going to be fatiguing. So it's going to be a pretty fun sounding IEM. And you know, it has good like vocals and mid-range, but yeah, it's definitely a bass-centric one, right? Because I think it's supposed to be like rock, right? Rock music and Rock Lobster. So you take a look at the design, you can see it has this nice lobster tail right there, so you can kind of hear the lobster tail. It has that lobster-looking type of shell as well. But the coolest part, I think, is this tip. The tip, you can see it has that like almost circular look to it. It definitely made a unique design. It looks kind of cool. So it definitely kind of pull out the stops of this IEM. This thing looks like nothing I've ever seen on the market in terms of the shell and the shape and the color. So it definitely stands out. But when it comes to the actual fit, you know, these tips are very easy to kind of put on, and this thing is molded. So this is honestly pretty comfortable to your ear. It's not the smallest one in your ear on the table, but this is definitely a very comfortable one and a very interesting looking one. They have the APOS X logo here as well. This thing terminates into a 3.5 millimeter with a kind of standard black cable, nothing really special. For $60, it doesn't really come with a case or anything. It's pretty much just the IEM. And let's talk about sound. So honestly, this thing is bassy. Like if you want bass, this thing definitely has it. It has a lot of sub bass too. I think that's what makes this one stand out, is you just get gobs of sub bass and mid bass. So if you really like your fun EDM or your rock, or I guess your metal, your punk, your indie, very bass heavy type of sound, this one definitely has that. I would recommend this one for those types of music. And I feel like that's pretty much where this one stands out. It's very specialized, very focused, and I think a lot of people are actually gonna like this, especially if you're into like a lot more, I guess I call it the consumer sound, but like Sony, Bose, a lot of bass, a lot of fun sound, and I think you're really gonna enjoy this one. The other one I haven't talked about is this kind of diamond looking one. I think it's probably made of glass, but it's really shiny. Honestly, this one has the aesthetics down. I think if you're looking for that, obviously, you know, if you like shiny things, this definitely has it. And then the white cable, I think, really complements it as well. I feel like the cable looks really sharp, really nice. And of course, this nice see-through case where you can see through into the IEM. This one I actually haven't reviewed yet. This is the Acoustic ST-K. It's honestly a very nice, good looking IEM. I think that's where it excels the most at, honestly, is standing out. When it comes to the actual sound quality, it's pretty much pretty average, honestly. It's about $50. You get good bass. You have, the vocals are a little bit slightly stepped back, but it has some pretty good treble going on over there. But I would say, you know, I wish the vocals kind of popped out a little bit more. But overall, this is a pretty decent IEM. And then the driver quality is also pretty decent, but nothing about this one is very specialized or stands out, besides the fact that, of course, like I said, it's very shiny and it has this 3.5 millimeter termination. Let's talk about ranking these on the order of like what's my favorite to worst. So I guess I'd probably put at the very bottom, I'd probably put the Tropo and Vivace down there. This one is, you know, it's built very kind of okay. There's nothing, it's pretty plasticky, I would say, overall. And the sound quality wise, it's not anything crazy. They do say they use titanium driver. or coded drivers, it sounds pretty okay. I mean, the detail is not bad. I don't think any of these on this table, honestly, are bad. But we're trying to figure out the best value, the best one. And this one, I feel like it doesn't really do anything crazy. I think it's pretty decent overall, but nothing really special, nothing that excels at. And even comparison to, like, let's say the STK, STA-K, I would say, this one just, I feel like it just looks better. It's built better. The sound's actually a little bit more balanced too. I think the treble just sounds a little bit better. The vocals sound just a little bit better on this one as well. So I would pick acoustic as 6th place and this one as 7th place. So going up, I would say for 5th place, I gotta be this K-Bear. This one is special because honestly, I really like how it looks. Its fit is really small. It fits really nicely. It's a very nice design overall, especially for its price point. I think it's around like $50 as well. But the drivers that it actually has, it has a beryllium driver. I would say I don't really hear the detail as like, it's definitely better than the 6th and 7th place, but it's definitely not as good as some of the ones above it. But it's a pretty decently well-tuned IEM, pretty good drivers. It also has the bone conduction driver in it as well. I think that bone conduction driver, definitely you can feel your ear shake a little bit, but I feel like it doesn't shake that much, but it definitely kind of engages your whole entire ear rather than just inside your ear. But yeah, overall, I think this IEM is pretty good. I think it has a pretty good sound stage, decent tuning, but I would like something, I guess, a little bit more focused sounding is what I would say. You know, something a little bit more fun, a little bit more punchy sounding than even this. And that's what I kind of find with the ones above this one. But this one scores a solid, I guess, 5 or 5th place. So now I gotta talk about the top 4. Honestly, the top 4 is really like, all these are really good, to be honest. Like, you can choose any of these and you'd probably be happy, but I think each one has different strengths and weaknesses. I would say at 4th place, I'll probably put the 7 Hertz down here. The only reason why I put this one in 7th place, honestly, is because it has just a little bit of a treble emphasis. So you're going to hear a little bit of almost a slight hotness sometimes on 7 Hertz. That's the only reason why. But I would say for its price, I think it's like $40 or less. The G1, the 7 Hertz G1 is pretty much amazing. The accessories that you get with this is pretty insane. Like, you get this big case, which is like nice, and then you get a ton of ear tips inside as well. I mean, a lot of these don't even come with cases, and then this thing's also made of like this metal as well, so it's built really well. The cable's really nice. It comes with multiple tips. Like, the driver in here, honestly, I would argue that this might be the most detailed driver on the table, but it is just a little bit bright sounding, and that's probably the only reason why. But honestly, the 7 Hertz definitely is potentially one of the best ones on the table, especially with the terms of like just having good driver quality. So then the top 3, okay, so this was a little hard, but you know, I had to like think about it, and I would say I would put the Critical 02 as 3rd place. Now let me tell you why I think they would be 3rd place. Now this one is a $70, so it is more expensive than the rest of these. Actually, I think it's the most expensive one on the table. So in terms of price and performance, it might not be the greatest. But I feel like in terms of sound, this one really does have like deep bass. It has pretty clear treble sounding, but I feel like it doesn't really do anything particularly like super well in one or the other, but I think it's a really good all-rounder. I think it's probably the most all-rounded between these 3 on the table, but it doesn't really like excel in my opinion. And so I feel like it's 3rd, but for a lot of people, this one might be the perfect one. But for example, the Rock Lobster right here, this one is very, very bassy. It has really good sub bass. I would say the bass of this is better than even on the Critical 02. And it just really excels at that. I think if you're listening to that bassy genre while having good kind of forward vocals, this one just is better than the Critical 0. The Critical 0 mid-range is not as good, I think, as the Rock Lobster, but the treble of it is better, right? On this, it sounds a little bit more clear. On the Truth Ear, a little bit more airy. You can hear, you know, the kind of the space around the notes a little bit more on this one. But essentially, I think the Rock Lobster is just a more fun and more focused sound. So that's why I put it as 2nd. 1st place goes to the EPZ Q1 Pro. I mean, it has the most random name ever. People don't even know this brand. Like, I don't even know this brand when I first heard of it. But this is apparently a huge manufacturer in China. They just have a lot of experience making IEMs. And I could definitely tell, like, the quality, the tuning, just everything about this is just top notch. It's kind of crazy what they're able to achieve. I think this thing is like $35, $40. It's like, for its price, it's honestly, you can get two of these for the price of one of these. So think about that. And honestly, look how great the shell looks, how deep. This has one of the smallest shells, and it's really lightweight, very comfortable, fits in your ear, it never bothers me at all. This is like super comfortable. It comes with these really nice tips. This cable also looks just amazing, excellent. I think this is probably the best looking cable here as well. So you get these like top notch, just like quality and look. But then when it comes to the sound, that's where it also shines. This is honestly one of the best tuned IEMs I've ever heard. I would say the only weakness that it has is maybe it could have a little bit more sub bass, like the Crinkle 02 or the Rock Lobster. But besides that, it's basically perfect. Honestly, like, I can hear when I'm listening to music, it just sounds like a studio recording. Like when I'm listening to like male, female vocals, they sound very natural. The violins, the instruments, everything's great. It even has a boosted bass, so you can hear the bass. Really, the only thing that it doesn't have like a lot of, you can definitely still have sub bass, but it doesn't have so much as some of these other ones. But besides that, this thing also has just like fantastic soundstage and imaging. You're playing games, you tell exactly where things are, how far things are. It is just very, very natural sounding overall, and I just can't praise it enough. Like the build quality, the look, this thing basically hits it out of the park, and that's why I think it is the best value, the best budget one for me. And I don't think it's really close for me, honestly. I think this one really is my favorite. But honestly, if I had to go for a second, I definitely enjoyed this Apos Rock Lobster a lot. This one is very fun sounding. I think it has the what I call the consumer sound, the one where it's a lot of bass. I think most people are gonna actually like this one if you like a lot of fun sound. So EDM lovers, like, this one really is probably going to be the most popular one amongst, I guess, most people. And if you're more like audiophile, you want to hear a little bit more of a balanced sound, this one's not boring. It definitely still has bass, but it also has, you know, this shiny, good looking shell as well. I think this one will also be very popular. And of course, I think the Critical Zero right here is also just a solid option as well. I think it is the most expensive one, so I would say it's the best value. But if, you know, if you have, you know, the money to spend on it, it still has a really good, nice looking shell, and it does sound really good as well. So these are probably my top 3 picks. And you know, if you guys, you know, enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. But yeah, this is kind of from my experience. I've heard a lot of IEMs, and I can definitely tell you that this EPZ one definitely stands out. I mean, it probably competes with things around $100, honestly, in my opinion.